Oh boy, I'm happy about this one. I am happy about this one because I know that there's a chance that the subject of this video might actually see this video because of how active they are on social media. You see the thumbnail. We're talking about the closer. We're talking about Mr. Kayvon Thibodeaux. We just picked up his 5th-year option going into year 4. Ended up drafting somebody that could possibly be the replacement for him, but he's still on the team. That's the type of dilemma and drama we have regarding this situation as far as the edge rushers go. And I am of the belief that you never have enough edge rushers. You never do. You never can. It's just something that you need an abundance of. And the New York Giants right now do have an abundance of edge rushers in that room. Shout out to them. But I'm going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux. Would have been a contract year. As soon as we draft Abdul Carter, about 15 minutes later, we get the news, scrolls across the bottom of the draft, that the New York Giants pick up the 5th-year option on Kayvon Thibodeaux. And for those, full transparency, for those that know, I was heavy Shedeur Sanders going into the draft. Heavy Shedeur Sanders. One of my main arguments against drafting Abdul Carter was that it seemed a little redundant because we already have 2 edge rushers. We end up getting Abdul Carter. Fast forward. Now I'm talking about how great of a rotation this room should have. But Kayvon Thibodeaux, the closer, that is the subject. Let me stay on track. Kayvon, Mr. Thibodeaux, you have done everything the right way in regards to the New York Giants picking up Abdul Carter. I've seen all of the interviews that were posted, I should say, all of the comments, all of the quotes, the appreciation, the professionalism that you provided us. But I just want to know. I would love to know, and we'll never know. Some people do know how you feel about the drafting of Abdul Carter. But again, we don't really care because this is a Kayvon Thibodeaux video. Bars. I think that Kayvon has a natural fire built in, a natural chip on his shoulder, a natural wanting to be the best about him. Have we seen the best of Kayvon Thibodeaux? Even he will tell you that we have not seen the best of Kayvon Thibodeaux. Is he working, or is this something that he is working on? Every time you see an interview, he talks about where he can improve. You never see him talk about himself as a finished product. He is constantly trying to get better, and you see it in all the videos. I don't know another, especially New York Giant, that I've seen more social media clips, pictures of him working out, going through drills, whether it's in pads or not in pads, working out on the beach, out in the desert, he out in Africa. The man is all over the place working out. And I love it. I love it because it's funny too, because when we drafted Abdul Carter, or even before we drafted Abdul Carter, a lot of people wanted to put Kayvon Thibodeaux on the trading block. And when I say a lot of people, you guys know who you are. Whether it's fans, whether it's content creators, whether it doesn't even matter. A lot of people were talking about, no, we can trade Kayvon Thibodeaux if we draft Abdul Carter. And for me, never made sense. Will never make sense. Certain things would have to happen in order for him to be traded. But before these guys touched the field, you're talking about trading them. Before we even got into the draft, talking about trading them, that is ridiculous in my opinion. Now, we got Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Brian Burns. The outside linebacker coach said, the way things are going to start off is the 2 best guys are going to play, and then we're going to have a rotation. How long will it take? For a lot of people asking that question, how long will it take for Abdul Carter to be the starter? And if Kayvon Thibodeaux has anything to say about it, Abdul Carter will be a rotational guy. Understand, it's going to be hard to try to keep the 3rd overall pick on the side, and Shane Bowen has his work cut out for him. Maybe not. We saw the leak clip of all 3 of those guys on the field at the same time. But again, that's most likely a 3rd down package. But man, it's going to be an exciting exciting training camp, in my opinion, just to see how this edge room shakes out. And again, a lot of people have their opinions already. I do as well. I think that we start the season off with Kayvon Thibodeaux, and I do believe that eventually Abdul Carter is going to work his way in as a starter. And then it might be an honest rotation in the beginning, but at the end, somebody's going to get the lion's share of those snaps opposite Brian Burns. And may the best man win, ultimately. But let's be real, though. You know which way they're leaning. Kayvon Thibodeaux in year 4 got the 5th-year option. I know a lot of things can happen around the trade deadline depending on how successful the New York Giants are and what they believe can happen. But I just want to hold those things to the side and just talk about the player. When we drafted Kayvon Thibodeaux in 2022, how excited were you? And I'm talking to the fans. How excited were you that we were drafting Kayvon Thibodeaux? We felt like he was the best edge rusher in the draft. The best edge rusher in the draft. Arguably, at some point in that draft process, you could say he was looked at as a possible number 1 pick over Walker. And then over, I can't even remember the guy's name in Detroit right now. Just came back, Aiden Hutchinson. Well, Hutchinson definitely had a faster start than Kayvon Thibodeaux, but Kayvon Thibodeaux showed flashes. Kayvon Thibodeaux showed that he can at sometimes be dominating, and that's the only part that we get a little bit of pushback for because we didn't see it in a more consistent basis. Now, there's a lot of things that the stats do not pick up. I saw the interview that he did with John Schmelk earlier today, and he was talking about there's a lot of plays, that happen that, you don't necessarily get credit for. Like if you push offensive tackle into the quarterback, that's not considered a pressure because you're not directly applying the pressure yourself. And that makes sense. And we've seen that before. He talked about his moves and wanted to be versatile. How everything starts with speed and how he wants to work more on his kung fu. I call it kung fu. He called it hand fighting. I call it kung fu. I just like that. I think it's cooler to say kung fu. But this year, as far as this defense goes, with those names that are in the edge room right now, regardless of who's starting and who's the rotational guy, I think a lot of these guys are going to eat. I think. And I'm not even kidding. I think that all 3 of those guys, Burns, Tibbs, Abdul Carter, have the potential to have double-digit sacks. All 3 of them. We talking 30-plus sacks from those 3 guys alone. I think that's something that could actually happen over a 17-game span. But, again, we got to see how it works. We got to see how Shane Bowen designs this defense. And at the end of the day, it's up to the players and how these guys get along. But I heard from somebody that it's a nice, tight relationship between those guys. There's a mutual respect between the veterans that are in the room and also the rookie who's coming up in Abdul Carter. And I love it. And I absolutely love to hear things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about the New York Giants winning games. It's all about getting pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run, things like that. Who's setting the better edge? But I'm looking forward to seeing the closer this year. A guy with a fantastic nickname like the Closer, especially when you're an edge rusher, the Closer is just a fire name to have. I would love to see that name become a household name throughout all of the NFL's fan bases. If Kayvon Thibodeaux can lock that down and become the Closer in 2025, the New York Giants are looking forward to a fantastic bounce back year where we get our respect back. It's not just about the playoffs and the Super Bowl for the New York Giants. Those are the ultimate goals. But for us, for New York, it's all about getting our respect back one game at a time. And Kayvon Thibodeaux will play a big part in that happening. And that's how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Let me know if you guys believe that the Closer will show up in 2025, because I think that's something that's definitely going to happen. He's not going to let a rookie show him up. Are you kidding me? Abdul Carter was the 3rd pick overall. Guess what? Kayvon Thibodeaux was the 5th pick overall. And I'm pretty sure he's not bowing down to anybody. And another person's competition, we get to see and feed off of the glory of it. And guess what? At the end of the day, friendly competition, there's nothing wrong with that. guys in a competition of who can get the most sacks on the team, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm pretty sure Dexter Lawrence has something to say about that as well, but we'll see what happens. Again, I'm excited for the season. Training camp right around the corner. We might see the guys in pads August 1st, something like that. And listen, if you're not excited for the season, I don't know what to tell you. I understand what we've been through, the PTSD that we had as a fan base, the losing seasons being over by October, November. I understand. But you can't let past seasons, ruin your joy for 2025. And right now, we haven't played a game yet. And right now, I will never concede a game before it happens. And hopefully you guys don't do it as well. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.
Yeah.